Hi guys, you'll now hear from a person with a very powerful name. I'd like you to meet Sudha Murthy. Before she moved in to Primus, she was like, I don't know what kind of people may be here. I don't know if I'll be happy. So she chose to rent for a 6-month period. And within the first 3 months, she bought her own flat. Listen to what she has to say.
I really feel after coming here, I've become more confident. Getting an appointment with a doctor is very difficult in US.
Okay.
So to get help, India is the best place. Aging is a process. Happens to everyone. As far as possible, try to do things independently.
And what is your view around people around you, including friends and family, saying you're now old?
It's society which
Right.
labels you.
So Sudha ma'am,
Yes.
tell me, you are one of our newest residents. You are here only from 9 months.
Yes.
You are in a well-established community that's been running for 10 years, which is
Yes.
Primus Reflection. When you made this decision to move, what was your biggest fear? What were you worried about? Now you were in, I'm guessing you were in some house somewhere in Bangalore. Where were you?
No, we were staying in Banshankari.
Okay.
We had a house of our own, apartment. But after that, once we got the green card, we wanted to dispose of the property.
Okay.
But somehow we were not happy staying in US.
Oh, you moved to the US?
Yes, we had
Which
moved
year?
to the US 2 years back.
Oh, okay.
To live with the children.
Wow, which part of US?
My son stays in Philadelphia.
Okay.
So my daughter stays in California. So we used to shunt between the
Oh,
both
6
places.
months, depending
6
on the
months,
winter.
yeah, depending on the weather.
So
Then,
for 2 years you stayed in the US with your
we
children?
Did.
Okay.
We did stay in
Very
US
interesting.
when the green card processing was going on. But after that, after once we got the green card, we came to India. But last year I couldn't, although I tried getting a accommodation here, but I couldn't because
So what made you come back to India? Why did you choose
The
that US was
main-
not the best place for
the
you?
main reason for coming back to India is because my husband is old and he needs a lot of help now.
Okay.
So to get help, India is the best place. It's not possible to get this kind of help in US.
Was there another layer to that? Like, okay, other than physical help, was there something else that made you...
And apart from that, we needed our own freedom also.
Right.
To some extent, because there we felt the life is boring because we were not able to interact
Right.
with people. There are hardly anybody whom we could interact.
And
apart
people of
from
your
our
age
children.
group, right?
Yes, our
And
age
so other
group.
than children,
Other
you
than
felt somewhat lonely and bored?
yes, definitely.
Although there is abundance of love,
And
there is no sense of community? Is that what you're
and
saying?
my husband is a very social person.
Okay.
And he's a people's man. So that way he needed some kind of a social interaction on daily basis. So here we found all that.
So your main motivation, if I heard you right, is your independence.
Yes.
So how did you have this conversation with your child? Because now your children love you. You love your children. You have to tell them, listen, by the way, your house is not the best place for me. I love you, but I am going to a senior living facility. How did you have that conversation?
No, we did have a direct talk with them and they also know our situation. And moreover, now as far as my son is concerned, his children are all settled. He's got a son and a daughter. And so they are free birds and they want to travel. And we don't want to be a hindrance to them, in any way. So that we want to give them their freedom, we want our freedom. And here we have the same kind of freedom that we need.
But were you met with a lot of defense saying, no, don't go, stay here, we will take care of you? How did you?
First, in the beginning, we thought we'll try only for 6 months. Our tickets were booked for 31st March. After coming here, when we saw the place, when we saw the way, the interaction between the seniors, our own age group and all that, then we felt this is the best place to stay.
So post that 6 months, post the 9 months that you're here, would you say your relationship with your children has gotten better or worse?
It has, to some extent.
Better?
Because better.
Okay.
They
Why
have-
do you think it's gotten better?
No, in the sense they have understood our needs and all that, and they have agreed. That's what many times the other people ask, your children okay with what your decision? We say yes. And they said, if you're happy there, continue to stay there. We will come and visit you and that is the decision that they have taken. Already my son was here in the month of November. He came and dropped us. Once again in the month of March when I needed him, he was here. My son-in-law was here. My daughter is going to come. They are able to travel, but we are not. And it is quite difficult for my husband to travel all the way. It takes almost 24 hours.
Yeah, of course.
That's the reason, we decided that we would stay here.
No, it's interesting to note that for you, independence was one of the most important things that you said you are seeking as part of being in a community. How do they answer to their friends there that, okay, mom and dad are in senior living? Do you think that was difficult for them? That was awkward?
No, now like
Wasn't.
earlier the concept is not there. Old age home they used to.
Right.
But we call it a senior home now.
Right.
So that way their friends, they tell them directly, this is where my parents are staying, and they're all happy with it.
Very interesting,
So
because from what I have,
Concept has changed.
from when I interact with people in the US, they have mostly left India in the 70s and the 80s. So a lot of them carry this assumption that India is still like that. And they have friends also who have left in the 70s and 80s. So in my experience, I've seen that the Indian children are actually much more open to the idea of senior living, and they understand practical challenges more than the American children. That's why I asked you this question.
True. What
Do you think
say
that's
is
true?
Absolutely true.
Because I feel a lot of them are stuck in a time of where India has moved from when they left India.
And even we were not sure what the children would say if we continue to stay and all that. So we said, we'll just try for 6 months and we'll see how it goes. But then after they also visited us, they felt it's the right place for us because of the facilities. Because getting an appointment with a doctor is very difficult in US.
Right, absolutely.
And with their busy time schedule and all that, because we didn't want to trouble them as long as, and we felt, and especially I felt, I could manage things here better than US. Getting an appointment, getting a report, getting the medicines, all that is much easier compared to US.
So other than that part, what's like the one thing that you really love about being in a senior living community?
Our roots are here, so we have been here for all these years. So we would love to stay here rather than that place.
So let's
That
say
it's only meant
there
for
is
visiting.
US and then there is India. Within India, you can stay in, say, a regular apartment in Banshankari, or you can stay in Primus. What do you think is the main advantage from your mind of staying in a Primus community?
Primus because of the medical facilities, sir.
Right.
That because as you grow old, you need a lot of medical attention. And I quoted 2 incidents in the morning where I could get the medical attention. So the medical facilities that are here, you cannot get it there. Although
you mentioned to me that you didn't have anybody in terms of having a social circle in the US.
Yes.
Do you think that has changed for you after coming here?
Yes, definitely.
Okay.
And in the evening, as you might have seen in Primus, we all have group circle. We all, just like circle time, we sit together. We just discuss a lot of things. It may not be gossip. It may not be about some politics or finding out and all that.
Yeah.
We try to interact with each other. And more than that, we are kept so busy here in Primus.
Right.
We hardly get any time to...
What about your husband? You said he was a social butterfly. Is he finding his gang?
He has found his own
He has a
gang
gang?
here,
That's
definitely.
awesome.
And more than that, he has got a regular schedule. He was in media actually.
Okay.
He was working for Doordarshan, Delhi.
Really?
So he was in the technical. He always used to be with the Prime Minister, President there, and travel with them all the time. So even now he started his own venture after coming to
In media?
Bangalore.
Okay.
Yes,
Wow.
we had our own business called as Prime Images of India. We had a editing room and all that.
Were you also part of that?
I was not a part. I was in Kumarans. I spent 30 years.
What did you do in Kumarans?
I was teaching high school,
Which
8th,
syllabus?
9th and 10th, and I have
Were you
taught
in the
them.
CBSE or the ICSE school?
No, I was in the state board right from the beginning.
So that's 2 of you in our community, Malti ma'am and you.
Malti ma'am was in charge of nursery and she was the principal, but I chose to be not in
it's nice that we have 2 people from Kumarans.
And so we have students all over the globe.
Of
That
course,
is
I know that. A
one
lot of my
thing,
friends
you know,
also are Kumaranites.
We have to be proud of our profession.
Amazing. So let's switch gears. Let's talk a little bit about getting old, feeling old. Tell me, when did you start to feel like, okay, I am old or my husband is old? What is your view around feeling old? And what is your view around people around you, including friends and family, saying you're now old? Which is the trigger?
The triggers started maybe when I turned 70.
Okay.
After that, sometimes, we are not as fast as they are, the children, and we have slowed down quite a bit. Then we understand we are. But the confidence that we have is, especially with me, and when I'm in Bangalore, I'm in India, that I can handle things keeps me going.
That's
Even
amazing.
now-
So you don't feel old, if I heard you right.
No,
But you're being told by people that you're old.
I know. That's what it's society which
Right.
labels you
How do you feel about aging?
about aging.
Yeah.
I mean, one has to grow old, no? They
Right.
cannot remain young all the time. So, along with the age comes certain physical problems and all that. One, we should be able to handle them on our own. That's what I feel. As long as we
And
can.
as you age, what are like your top fears? Like if I have to say top biggest fear, second biggest fear, I
More
get old.
than
These are
me,
my fears.
I'm worried about or I'm concerned about my husband, who is almost 9 years older than me.
What's your
and-
fear for your husband?
Like his health
Right.
mainly, because he has this balance problem.
Right.
So that way, I have to take care of him.
You're scared
Ah.
that he'll fall down and that may lead to a bad quality of life.
Yes.
Okay,
So that's
okay.
what happened. Even he had a few falls in US, and because of that, he had to be in the rehab for almost a month.
And has that changed after being in
After
Primus?
coming here, it has changed quite a bit, because here there are various other ways where we can get cured. Like I started with a Vedic therapy for him,
Right.
and that helped him quite a bit, and he was back on his feet. He was
Also,
walking.
maybe the infrastructure that we have created is a
Yes.
little more safe
That
from a false perspective.
definitely matters a lot.
Right.
And because he's very happy when he comes to the dining room, meet all the friends, and he is in the habit of wishing everyone in the morning. The first thing he meets somebody, he will say good morning, good afternoon. That is, sometimes I also tell him, why do you want to wish each and everyone? But that is his habit.
So we have a lot of people, both older people and children of older people, who are in this borderline of making a decision about senior living. The children are worried that the parents may feel bad if they say you should move to a senior living. What would you tell those children? Because you have such children. You have seen this journey over the last year, and from 2 years this has been on your mind. You took 1 year to make this decision. What would you first say to the children who are hesitant to tell their parents?
No, they have to respect the feelings of their parents, and they have to support them. That's what, just like we say, our children when they grow up, and we have to respect their decisions, and we have to support them. That's all we
The
can
question
do.
is, the children believe that senior living is good for parents. They are hesitating to tell the parents because they feel parent may get offended. They don't know.
No,
They don't even open up and say because they're like, why, Vedappa? Why they feel bad? I don't want to say anything.
I do
They may be in
understand.
an old house. They may be having a lot of difficulties in managing the house. But the children will keep quiet. What do you think? What would you say to them?
But it's always better to have an open conversation, because, try to understand instead of staying there without the necessary freedom and then going through so many things. It's better, you speak to your children, tell them clearly what you want, and help them to agree with and support the decision. That's what I
And
do.
if I switch over and say, now let's talk about the elders
Huh.
who are on the borderline. Sometimes they feel it's a good idea. Sometimes they feel it's a bad idea. One of the two partners is for it. Other one is not for it. How is that process work? What would you say to these people?
No, I understand. Staying single is not all that easy. And as long as you have the support of each other, you feel you're quite safe. And after that, the problem. But I think even that was another question that was asked by my children. In case anything happens, and after that, do you want to continue staying there or you want to come back? I said I would love to stay alone. And because I'm happy with whatever the things are now, especially in Primus, we have absolutely no problem. There are so many people who are living single. They're all happy here. They have their own way of life, and they can interact with whomsoever they want. And they have a lot of activities that's being carried out. We have absolutely no time to think about anything else except.
So if I could give you an opportunity to turn the clock back, let's say 10 years back, you and your husband are your husband is perfectly healthy. You are of course healthy and fit, and you're living in Banshankari. You're not thought of going to the US. If you went back in that time, do you think that moving to a senior living community at that time would have been a better decision or not?
Not that one, because we wanted to enjoy that kind of social life.
Right.
Because we were in about 32 flats were there, and we were the senior most at that time also.
Okay.
And we had a lot of interactions
Right.
at that time. So that way, that life was better at that point of time.
Right.
And we
So you
could
believe that
manage,
that kind of social interaction
Yes.
possibly wouldn't have happened in a
Yes.
senior living community?
and that could have been there. I mean, that we could manage only when at that point of time. Now, if you ask me to do it, I don't think I'll be ready to, because maintenance issues are there. There are a lot of things when
Right.
owning your own house and staying in a place like
Managing
that.
the house is a hassle.
Definitely.
Yeah. So if you were to give a message to everybody about aging, because I always say getting old is mandatory, but feeling old is optional, right?
That's true.
What's the message that you would give to people about how you look at aging?
Aging is a process, and happens to everyone. But we should be able to handle it gracefully, and we should be able to, as far as possible, try to do things independently as long as we can.
That's golden advice.
That's what I feel.
So, ma'am, you mentioned about independence and your need to be independent. So, after moving into Primus, do you believe you're more independent?
Yes, definitely.
How so?
In the sense, there we had to depend on children for all simple things, or going to a doctor, visiting a doctor, taking an appointment, getting the medicine, everything they were doing. And we used to feel bad. I definitely used to feel that I can handle. I had that confidence. So after coming here, I'm quite okay with it, and I'm able to.
Because
Even the hospital visit twice I had to take it.
Right.
I had to go on my own, and the first time when it happened, I went in the ambulance myself,
Nice.
and I had that
Because children of elderly parents, to cover their guilt more often than not, I have observed that they tend to infantilize their parents. That they start to treat them like children. They don't allow them to make decision, and that takes away ability to take decision. And over a period of time, the elders themselves stop to take decisions. So I have a word for that. It's called the invisible decline curve. Invisible decline curve, IDC. I call it
decline
IDC.
curve. Yes.
That the decline is not visible until a trigger event, and then after trigger event, a health incident, for example, people act in panic, and from there it's very difficult to do anything.
True.
Because we take away independence, we take away decision making, we take away confidence, then we take away dignity and relevance. It's the evolution of the decline. So we need to get it back to being independent so that people feel relevant.
Right.
Yeah.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
And that's what was happening also. Like, they started treating him as a child, like overprotecting. That's what we call it as.
Yeah.
Not that it was all done with a good intention only.
100%.
But for
It's
us
the
to accept,
lack of understanding of age.
we can. And sometimes we feel that we can do much more when.
Do you
on our
think
own.
that is coming more from a place of guilt and lack of awareness from the children's perspective?
To some extent, sir, I do agree. They should trust their parents and their ability, and they also should support them, like more than don'ts, there should be do's. That's what I feel.
That's amazing. More than don'ts, there should be do's.
Yes.
I love that. Awesome.
Actually feel after coming here, I've become more confident. Even the children appreciate that to a very great extent. My son was saying, you are able to manage everything on your own. I'm very proud of you.
You have reversed the decline curve. Now independence has come back,
That's what.
agency has come back, confidence
And
has come back,
sometimes
decision
that kind
making
of
has come back.
restrictions makes my husband get irritable also. He's like, I can't do, why are you stopping me from?
Awesome.